I changed my diet first. I stopped grain for me first. I stopped all of my loved pizzas, pastas, burgers. I said no to those things first because that is when I got the power to say no to my son. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go deep on the diet and detox today. But will this be a Dr. T event if I'm not talking about mindset and trauma healing? No, because that is the bane of how I have come so far. Because I have healed and emotionally let go of so much pain. The more I heal myself, the better Muhammad becomes. Because your child have something called mirror neurons, and your child mimics your actions, your mindset, your belief, your energy. When you are sick, your child actually needs you more. When you are happy and healthy, your child is actually more successful and more independent. Many of you are, you start your Instagram and then you move past one after another, and then when you blink, it's like 1 hour gone. That is the same 1 hour you could actually have implemented by doing specific research. And many of you guys are doing research, yes, and you are getting overwhelmed by doing the research. Lots of moms tells me there are so many information online. You are saying this is right, another coach saying that is right. I am confused, Dr. T. What do I do? What do I do? And you know what? Let me give you a secret. When I was on the initial leg of my research and work with Muhammad, I did not follow Instagram. I did not follow any coach in Instagram because I know that not everybody are made equal. Not everybody are giving me the right information, and I do not know which one is right and which one is wrong. So I did not want to confuse myself. What I did was I read books, I read journals, I did the scientific stuff that I know how to do. And I teach those things, and I made those things simple enough so that you don't have to go through the research on your own. I cannot toot my horn saying that you don't need to follow anyone else, but when somebody joins our ATS 6MD, I say that to that student, stop following everybody else on Instagram and just follow, and even stop Instagram. Don't do Instagram. Because when you go and see a lot of random influencers over vilifying something or over, how to say this thing, like autism is a superpower BS, then you are going to start believing those things. Autism can only be a superpower if the child is not banging his head, being nonverbal, not being able to sleep. If an autistic child, for example, my child is still on the spectrum, right, but he's undiagnosed. You cannot diagnose him as having autism, by the way. He has some differences in his mind, how his mind works, how he works, and that's so beautiful. A child who have recovered from the severity of autism, then autism becomes a superpower for that child. So for example, let me give you an example. Right today, what happened? I was trying to do some last minute checkup, and then we saw that one of my team member forgot to work on a file. And within 10 to 15 minutes, I completed doing all of those checks. Why? Because I have the superpower of hyper focus. And this is the same hyper focus which made my mom beat me a lot. Because when I was younger, my super focus, my hyper focus was on reading books and not seeing what's going around me. So the same hyper focus can become a trauma for a child or can become a success for a child based on how the brain is actually functioning. And that is what we want for the child. We want the child's brain to be functioning so well that the previous struggles become superpower. Are you scrolling mindlessly? Are you fearing to buy that protocol even when you know that it's going to work? Are you going to the same treatments over and over and over and expecting different results? Because Albert Einstein said that it's actually insanity doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Because if you dissociation is actually a mental process where a traumatized individual, they experience a disconnection from their thoughts, feelings, memories, and sense of self. Many of you guys are dissociated from your truth, from your powers, which is why you are so powerless. You feel so helpless. And then I get those comments like, you are in here for the business. Yes, the business part is there because it's halal business. And our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said Business carries 9/10 of barakah. So why shouldn't I do business? Why do you want me to work after somebody and make their profit and me always stressed about money? You don't want that. There is no shame in earning more. There is no blame in wanting good things for you and your kids. What is wrong is if I don't know what I am doing, but I'm still charging. That would be wrong. And that is not what I do. All of my students, those who have given me so much of testimonials and stuff, they're not doing it for money. I'm not giving them any money. They have paid me to work with me and they are giving me free testimonials. That is the kind of work I do. So what can you do with your mindset today? Here are a few things I want you to start doing today. Google elimination diet, because it's going to be a version of our diet, by the way. Our diet is not totally elimination diet, but it's a version of it. So Google elimination diet and start that diet on yourself. That was my step number 1 when I started the autism journey for Muhammad. I changed my diet first. I stopped grain for me first. I stopped all of my loved pizzas, pastas, burgers. I said no to those things first, because that is when I got the power to say no to my son. Many of you guys don't know how to be firm. You think being firm is shouting at the child. No, don't shout at the child. We don't allow that, by the way. Inside our protocols, we do not allow shaming, blaming, beating, hitting, anything, because your child's nervous system is so sensitive. If you stress the child, he's going to create cortisol, which is going to go negative for him. So I don't want that. I want you to be calm and firm, and you can only be calm and firm when you do the work on yourself. When you know that the first few weeks of doing a specific diet, I'm going to feel trashy. I'm going to feel very, very bad. I'm going to feel sick. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel overwhelmed. When I am changing the diet for my son or daughter, they're going to feel the same way too. If this is what I'm feeling when I'm doing this diet, my child is going to do that too. How can I? Then you are going to think, how can I pad up the whole situation so that it's less for my son? And here is what detox comes in. Because if you do not do detox at the same time as doing the diet, that's when you guys fail. That's when you guys fail. Because when you change the diet, your body starts releasing toxin. And if you don't remove those toxins effectively, the body is going to act up, flare up, inflammation, anger. Everything grows up. And then you think, oh my gosh, I don't want to change the diet because it's making things worse. Sometimes things have to break down for new things to build up. I was very adamant that this is going to work because I know the science behind it, which is why I was able to hold my fort, do the changes needed for him. And now, alhamdulillah, I'm seeing all of those results for him. Go on the elimination diet for yourself. Supplement with iron, B vitamins, and hormones. I love this company, Hormone Harmony. It has improved so much of my hormonal imbalance, because if you are a 30+ woman, or if you have given birth to more than one kid, you actually have more hormonal imbalances going on in your body that can be actually symptomatic of other problems. A lot of the time, the problems that women have are because of the hormones, not because of other things. But the doctors don't know that thing. I have spent over $10,000 this year to figure out what's wrong with me, and now I know. And now I don't go to any doctors. I do my own doctor on myself. I have seen that if you are not having good iron level in your body, you will have brain fog yourself, and you will not have energy, so you cannot do the work on your child. The third thing that you need to do starting today is exercise for 30 minutes. I don't care if it's a yoga, it's a walk, take your child on a stroller and walk, but do something for your physical body. Because if you don't move, your emotional health gets affected, your digestion gets affected, your stress affects the digestion, which affects the brain to work. And I absolutely love essential oils for stress management. Let's talk a little bit about the diet. So we work, oh, by the way, have you tried the GFCF diet or the GAPS diet? How did they go? Because when I started trying GFCF, it was good. Gluten-free, casein-free, it was good, it was easy. But GFCF does not give a lot of results. GFCF will improve the child's possibilities for a few days or weeks, and then the results actually goes away. One anonymous attendee says GAPS failed terribly. Tell me more about it. Tell me more about it. Gaps is a disaster. I tried myself. I was so scared of gaps, man. It took me 1 year to get ready for gaps. I would be the hypocrite person on earth if I say that gaps is easy. Oh my gosh, gaps is so easy. Do it, do that. No, I hate those influencers who say that. Oh my gosh, gaps is so easy. Gaps changed my whole life. But here's the thing. Oh my gosh, gaps is so easy. Do it, do that. No, I hate those influencers who say that. Oh my gosh, gaps is so easy. Gaps changed my whole life. But here's the thing. Gaps is just a diet and it's gonna work if you understand everything about a child's body, about a child's anatomy, psychology as well, because it's just a diet. You need 5 pillars, and gaps is just one of them, the second pillar. That's it. First, you need to ease your way into gaps if you want to try gaps. And by the way, our protocol, it is a Ayurvedic version of gaps. When I was trying gaps with Muhammad, they have a very hard levels of things, and then I failed in every single steps. And then there are many things that gaps approves, but when I gave to Muhammad, his flare up increased, his problem increased. For example, gaps allows cheese, which if you are Asian person, if you are white people, Caucasians, you are raised with milk products like cheese. But if you are from Southeast Asia, like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, Japan, and things like that, Vietnam, we don't eat cheese that often. Cheese is not part of our diet as much as the other things. So when I tried a lot of the gaps things, I failed miserably. What we do things differently is use a simplified grain-free diet, and I put an Ayurvedic spin to it. We include only the parts of gaps, which is like the broth thing that you have to do. That's it. And then we introduce each food in certain stages. When you see my students sharing, stage 1, I did this, massive improvement, stage 2, massive improvement, blah, 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 that is happening because I have customized what doesn't work with a pure gaps, and I have made it into what works, a practical home like mine or another student. And by the way, majority of our student is from Southeast Asia, but I do work with people from America, African countries as well, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and I work with people from 55 different countries. So we have tested this in a variety of races, in a variety of religion, in a variety of social perspectives. And another thing, what I did differently was I reduced the fluffs. I simplified each one of them, and I tried to understand which part is working for the child. If a stage is not working for the child, I move on from that stage. That's it. I don't stay stuck in a bad marriage. I don't stay stuck in what is not working, because for me, time is everything. Another thing is, depending on the program that a student joins, we either give them a full library or pre-made diet protocols, which I'm going to talk a little bit more at the end. But I want you guys to take some ideas with you today so that you can start doing the diet. Here's number 1 thing that you need to do to start doing grain-free. Number 1, you need to attain a mindset to go on this journey. You cannot go grain-free with your regular mindset. Okay? It's not going to work. The second thing is you're going to download the free PDF, which we are going to give you at the end of our session. So you need to stay until the end. Download that PDF, print that PDF, and you're two actually. I will give you one to overcome picky eating. I will give you another one to make healthy food taste yummy. So those 2 PDFs are going to help you with the diet journey. Please get your habibi, as in your husband, on board. Teach him. Teach your husband, rather than fighting with your husband, teach your husband how to change the diet, what to feed the child, what not to feed the child, and try the simple swaps that I have laid out in this slide. Try those, and also don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. Talha, can you please share the subscription link to our newsletter? Because when you subscribe to our newsletter, you will get a meal plan on your first or second day. You will get the meal plan on what to feed on Sunday, what to feed on Monday, what to feed on breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, everything. I got you covered for free. That's how I do the help. So I sometimes get DM saying, oh my God, this is just for your business. I thought you were going to help me. I have help. I have over 260 videos in YouTube. Go watch them. I have free meal plans, I have freebies that you can start and get so much improvements. But people don't want to do that. They just want to complain, 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 and blame or shame other people. When I say grain-free, I mean no wheat, no rice, no millet, sorghum, wild rice, or anything that is also gluten-free grains. You're not going to give any grains, honey. I'm sorry for that. But it is what it is. I have tried gluten-free for a lot of time, but then I had to switch to grain-free, and that's when I started seeing pretty good results. Some examples that you can do right now is you can go to Costco if you are in the Western Hemisphere. If you are not, if you are someplace, you can go to your local big depot, and then you can find things like this. So you can do lentil pasta, alhamdulillah. Grain-free is so easy these days. When I started this journey, I had to make everything from scratch. I had to make everything from scratch because I could not find any grain-free pasta anywhere. Oh, I didn't make pasta that much, but I had to make things like that. It was very hard. But now you can. Lentil pasta is grain-free. Almond and coconut flour roti is an example of where you do not give rice or wheat-based roti. Equal part almond flour, equal part coconut flour, and use psyllium husk to bind things together, and you will get a soft roti. And by the way, when you join our programs or even mini course, you will get all of those recipes as well. It's so easy. Instead of rice, you can give your child quinoa or cauliflower rice. And by the way, lentils and dals are allowed. This is a confusion. People think grains means dal not allowed. No, grains are not dals. Dals and lentils are not grains, actually. Grains are wheat, rice, millet, sorghum, anything that has like those husk things. And then, you have like starch based. Grains are predominantly starch. That is why we are stopping grains, because when you give grains to your child, that's a lot of starch. The body doesn't know how to digest those starch. It spikes the blood sugar, which creates the hyperactivity, which creates the brain fog, which creates the sleep problem. When you swap the grains and you give them grain-free diet, those things just slowly goes away, okay?